Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is the take on this Friday morning. What a wild week. And we talk about all the different influences on the market each and every day and what each day brings. Well, when we look at yesterday, it was a lot less about rates, a lot more about what's going on outside, and especially with earnings. And earnings has been dominating. So we take a look over at the Dow. Now, the Dow was down significantly in the pre-market, down over 100 points, triple digits. And we're looking at things and starts to move around a little bit. It did start to come back a little bit. And by the end of the day, we actually had a really nice late rally, finishing down about 6 points. On the NASDAQ side, it was up and down. It was starting off the day down about 40 or 50 points on the pre-market. We started shifting around a little bit. By the end of the day, a nice sprint to the upside, finishing up over 90 points on that. So a really nice divergence there, but both the Dow and the NASDAQ on that late surge actually reaching at least better parts of the market, and matter of fact, near the highs of the day across the board. Crude got up and over 83, pulled right back, and that it got towards 81, actually closed in the 82s. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. There's just a back and forth movement there, but still the path seems to be to the upside, and that's been something that's been playing out for a while. What's been going to the downside? Volatility. You talk about the volatility index. I talked about it not too long ago. So now 2 weeks ago, we were over 20. We've been going down, 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 down. As a matter of fact, yesterday, under 15 for the volatility index, and kind of hovering right around that 15 level. As a matter of fact, we've had some great volumes. As a matter of fact, 37.3 million contracts trading again yesterday. So that continues the volume that we talk about. We talk about volatility, volume, velocity. Volatility has been coming down very, very rapidly. So that's where the velocity is right now. But in the markets themselves, it's been a lot smoother, although we've had a lot of movement out of a lot of the specific names, and a lot of that movement coming on what we are seeing with the earnings themselves. So tech finished up just a little bit, and that was part of the boost. It had been down. It was in the red, and it was a little bit of that boost that actually pushed things up when you look at the NASDAQ late. IBM was a drag all day long. We all know about how bad those earnings were. That stock was down the previous night. The stock was down yesterday. As a matter of fact, down anywhere between 8 and 10% yesterday. The Chinese names, though, have been on this path lately that's been much more bullish. Yes, they've pulled back here and there. Yesterday, actually did back off just a little bit, but I'll tell you, each and every day, those back-offs are not nearly as significant as those moves to the upside that we have been seeing. So IBM definitely not looking all that great. You look over at Match.com, however, that was a really interesting day. That was up over 10%. Netflix up over 4.5%. You look at Ulta on a nice bounce back after that was getting crushed the day before. Did get a nice bounce back of about 4%. PayPal under that same pressure from that Pinterest trade that everybody's been talking about and the potential buyout of that. And that obviously had sent that stock lower. It went again. It was down 6%. Tesla, on the other hand, we had that option activity yesterday. Tesla continued to move. As a matter of fact, you take a look at it today, back up in that near or over that 900 level. We had a really nice day out of NVIDIA as well. So there was a nice sort of a push late that we started to see that surge in the NASDAQ. We're looking at semiconductors. We're looking at some of the big NASDAQ stocks themselves as well. So earnings is the driver, continues to be the driver. People are paying attention to rates, but not nearly the same way that we had been in the past, because earnings is right in front of us, and that is driving things. So early on this morning, we're up about 40 points on the Dow. We're down about 40 points on the NASDAQ. That really hasn't changed a whole lot, although the NASDAQ itself, which is still down, call it 40 or 50 points. When I look over at the Dow, it's kind of been slowly and steadily creeping to the upside. Matter of fact, up about 130 points. Not a massive move, but a nice little bit of a move to the upside, especially after yesterday having to fight all the way to get back somewhere near even flat. Volatility index continues to be trading right around that 15 level. Crude, we got back up and over 83. And you look over at the 10-year, 167. So that's a level that's been something that really has had a pretty nice starting to get a little bit of mojo as well. So we're seeing that. Communication services. That's the area that's been under pressure, down about 2%. Snap down over 20%. That's your leader. That's pulling down Facebook and Twitter and many of the other names in that particular area. But that is the one area where we are seeing some unbelievable pressure to the downside. No doubt about it. Snap, disappointed last night. That disappointment certainly reflected after that big rush that this stock had made up towards the 70s and 80s, and now this big pullback that we're seeing today. But don't forget, and this is something I think is very important. I brought it up last night on Fast Money. You look over at the NASDAQ October 4th, it was trading 14,200. Where were we yesterday and basically today? 15,200. We're up 1,000 points in a very short period of time. So let's always keep that in mind when we see some of those down days, that when we see the NASDAQ sort of lagging a little bit. Seagate being another strong day. KLAC. So even though you look over and you see Intel under pressure, and you see some of these various names in terms of the earnings reports of their own pulling things down, not everything is absolutely going down with that. So we're seeing a lot going on. Applied Materials, another one of those names, having a pretty decent day. Although Intel absolutely awful, down about 10%. Those Chinese names today, as I mentioned, we see a little bit of a pullback here and there, but the direction of late has been a little bit higher and a little bit higher, and a nice day today. PDD, NetEase, those names having a pretty decent day. I got two unusuals and I'm out of here because we've got the halftime report today as well with David Tepper and many other of the superstars for the last 10 years. They're going to be reporting in. So Macy's just underneath 2650. We got a buyer of 6,000 of next week, October 29th. So 1 week from today, the 27 calls. So just barely out of the money. Those are going for about 50 cents up to about 58 cents. Part of what makes this interesting is the conversations about spinning off. That's one. The other is when you look at the short interest of about 20% of the float, that makes this very interesting because the potential is there for that squeeze and those kind of moves to the upside. We'll see. XBI is number 2. Now, this is the biotech index. This is a very interesting one. It's extremely spread across multiple names. So it's not like a lot of the other ETFs where you're heavily weighted in a specific spot. This name trading around 122, and we're seeing 10,000 of December 3rd expiring, the 125 calls. They're spreading those off. They're buying the 125s, selling the 135s. The net price there about $2 on that $10 spread. So looking for a nice move to the upside. We'll see if they get that. But stock, or at least this ETF rather, trading right around that 122 level. Folks, have a great day of trading. Look forward to seeing you at noon. Knowledge is king. If you don't understand anything about the derivatives markets, you need to know more. So make sure that you do your best to get educated, whether it's books, whether it's with us, whether it's with some sort of mentors. Understand the derivatives markets. Have a great day of trading and a great weekend.